Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Eddie Marcus one more time, and I'm here in my move to be persuasive in getting you to change your way of thinking about the precepts and concepts of life as you see them, and perhaps project them into a future of what you would desire them to be. And basically, that would come, as I see it, as it happened to me, with the revelation of truth. Mine came from a source that was invisible, can't touch, can't feel, but the evidence, nevertheless, is obviously standing right before you. And so while I'm not capable, nor am I have a desire to be the one that set you free, I just want to direct you to the one that is able to free you. So let me ask you a couple of things, ladies and gentlemen, as I follow on that pursuit. Work your mind with me, if you would. A man can't walk, and someone comes up to him and says a word or two to lift the spirit up, lay hands on him, and tell him to walk. And he gets up and walks. A whole lifetime, growing up through his youth, adolescence, and teenager, maybe now just a young man, never able to walk before. And all of a sudden, some stranger comes up to him, and now he is able to walk. Do you think that this person will talk about it? You think he'll be able to keep a secret? I think he'd talk about it. And I believe he wouldn't care what anybody had to say in regards to what has happened. He would be grateful and would not be able to tie his tongue. He'd be talking about it. He'd be talking about it. Why? Because something happened to him. Something wonderful happened to him. Something good happened to him. Something that no human being could do for him. And so I don't know what this is. I can't explain it. It's a miracle. And, well, what about a man who can't talk? One who can't hear? One who's I'm telling you, think about it. You fill in the blank. You know somebody that you can fill in right there. Maybe you can fill yourself in. But imagine, if you will, that something happened and everything was okay. Would you talk about it? Would you be able to tie your tongue? I don't think so. Even if you were broke and all of a sudden you got rich, well, in an effort to keep your money to yourself, you might be able to tie your tongue. But other than that, you wouldn't be able to tie your tongue. So I say these things to you, ladies and gentlemen, because they are so important to us. Especially to be risen from the dead. To somebody say, come forth. And what does that mean? Metaphorically. What does that mean? It's saying to have walked according to the dictates of my training, whether it was good or bad. To have kept its basic principles and walked according to the planks of its directions, to have held myself high, to be pleasant amongst my fellow brothers and sisters, and to magically have something happen to me that now I can see what I've never been able to see before. I can see the darkness of my understanding. I I can see the failures of my path. And I can see these things clearly because now I can see the truth, how it's done. Well, you know, ladies and gentlemen, there are those that will give their lives to cause problems, to cause pain and suffering, to abuse others. There are those. When I think about that, I think about the beginning of time, and I think about in the garden. You know the story that we've been given if we are here in the West. That the supposed snake in the Garden of Eden is going to come up and give Eve a conversation she could not resist. And it was so powerful and overwhelming, she was able to take that empowerment and go and do an inducement on her old man. And now here we are, all following after, giving up what? The whole world was ours according to that story. And all we had to do was to have faith, to respect, to be obedient. And one thing else I'll tell you when I'm finished. Now, there are those who will give their lives to cause you pain and suffering. Some people might call it the apple. You know, some people might call it just a lady herself with all of her beauty. Some people might just call it a bully. But nevertheless, there are people that would do just that and consider it a way of life. Then there are others. They don't go out and do anything to really cause any problems. They don't create negativity per se, but they do nothing to prevent it. They do nothing to eradicate it. Now, most of the human race falls in that category because people don't want to be vindictive and just held up as brutal. No, sometimes they act that way, but they don't want to be held up like that. They want to fall somewhere in the middle, somewhere in here. Now, who generally falls into that category? Well, most of the common people, per se. You got all of your 501 C3s, you got all of those basic organizations that are receiving grants and credits because of their association with the government. You got those who are in business, and you know how that goes. Business is all about bottom line. Regardless how you set it up, it's about bottom line. And I only mention bottom line because what it does, it says that you're looking for profits. That basically indicates giving what you give, but getting more back in return. That's what you call it. That's good businessmanship and all that. But there's another group that falls into this category, and they are the churches. Now, at one time, the history goes to say that the church had a different activity in the social order, but things have changed, I believe, since Constantine and his association with that religiosity. And so now the church falls in the category where it does its thing. It teaches the congregation, it teaches those people the biblical story of the base history that is to be given to people of the West. And they discuss it, and they do it over and over and over an entire lifetime. I mean, this is their role. And basically keep your hands off the government. Don't have anything to say about that. And that's why you fall in these categories. You got those that will do anything to benefit themselves. They don't care how much they have to mess over you, throw you under the bus, doesn't make any difference. They got to have it. They got to be in charge. They got to be the boss. They sometimes call themselves alpha. I don't know why. But anyway, that's them. And then there are those who just say, well, I'm not like that, but I'm just going to be cool. I'm not going to rock the boat. I'm just going to make it and sail through this thing and hope that at the end everything going to be all right. and they are the facilitators. They are the one that makes what these other guys do everything okay. These two come together actually makes this craziness of the world that we see every day exist. These two combinations. Now there's a third one, and these are those that will give their life not to submit. They will represent something else. These are the ones that I call being born again. These are the ones what you might want to call the prodigals. They are just like you. They are just like any of us. We have gone through the world, through life, got our education just like you, gone on out there. We've done everything because we were headstrong and we were fast and moved mightily, wanted to move ahead, and we went on and did it, only to find out that it was nothing. Out of everything you had to commit and committed, it was nothing. So you finally wake up and realize that the best times in your life was where you started from. And that might mean returning back to home. Or it might mean returning back to your basic principles of life. It might mean, do you go back to the place where you've been educated to be a certain kind of way? Or do you go forward expressing and reflecting a new picture, a new revelation, another mirror of a future that's absent, that which causes the pain, the suffering, that which causes those to do those things that are so negative in life. And so I guess the whole point of the message is that there is something special about this thing that Donald Trump talks about called loyalty. Donald Trump wants his people to be loyal. That means whatever it takes to cover his butt and the decisions that he has made, do it. And don't accept nothing else. I mean, if you do, it's because you could not help it any other kind of way. That's what Donald Trump calls it, loyalty. That's what those who are of that first group who would do anything to have their way, they want that kind of loyalty. And where does that kind of loyalty come from? That kind of loyalty comes from those in the middle. Those who just sit around, don't rock the boat, they get caught up in it. They get caught up in all kinds of ways, like investments and endowments, all kinds of things they get. You name it, you think of it, and they're caught up in it. And for one way or one reason or another, they go deeper and deeper until they just, hey, you fill in the blank. But now this other group, no, they are saying there's a way of life, and I'm sticking to it. There's a way of life, and I'm sticking to it. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to end this particular message here because I got another part that I want to bring that's a little kind of, maybe 5 or 6 minutes long, and it goes in a different direction. So I want to just close this here and say to you on my ending, Trump wants you to be loyal. God wants you to be loyal. Trump wants you to be loyal. God wants you to be loyal. It's amazing when you think about it. In the Garden of Eden, God told Adam and Eve, this whole world is yours. But one thing that I ask you and command that you do not do. And what was he talking about? Loyalty. When he said, don't do this, what was that all about? It was about loyalty. That even though I've given you the whole world, you know that out of it all, it is because I, great God, did it for you. And because of that, you'll never try to step outside of the boundaries of this that God has given you. That was the kind of loyalty that God was looking for Adam. But then on the story of Jesus on the mountain with the devil, when the devil says, all of the world, same thing. God already gave it to Adam in the beginning. Now the devil talking to Jesus. All of this whole world I give to you. But what is it that the devil requires? The devil requires what? The devil requires loyalty. Just like Trump requires loyalty. Just like God requires loyalty. And so what did Jesus, a person just like you and I, walking all of the years of his life, through this life, just like you and I, having the daily indoctrinations, just like you and I, having the environmental imposition upon us, what? Just like you and I. But a decision has got to be made, just like you and I. We who do not know any better, undoubtedly, would jump at what is that, the big bait they put on the end of the hook? It's a big fish. Am I still talking on that same subject? Ladies and gentlemen, you got to forgive me. But just let me go and finish this. I know I got your hook now, so let me go and finish it for you. At the end of this hook, they got this big old thing called money. And now, you know how we got to have that money, because this is the gateway to life. We go for it. Now we hook. Caught into that. Or, my friends, that's when you get caught by the devil. Or, when you stay on the side, like Jesus did, and refuse, because you know the truth. Now what happens? Well, what happened to Jesus? They killed Jesus. But then what else happened to Jesus? If you accept the fact that they killed Jesus, you got to accept the fact that he was killed and he rose. You got to accept all of that. You got to accept the fact that he went to heaven. You got to accept that fact. If you accept part of it, you got to accept the rest of it. So what is that saying to you? That's saying that you resist the power that you see for the power you can't see. And while this one over here will kill you because of your disloyalty, then this one receives you back and you are forgiven for your stray. And now you are back one with that spirit you couldn't see, couldn't touch, couldn't feel. The evidence truly is there now. Wow, I really didn't intend to go there for, ladies and gentlemen, but thank you for being so patient with me. Once again, this is Eddie Marcus, and I want to thank you. Goodbye.